Can you believe that there's a living organism that's practically immortal? How long do you think you were the youngest person in the world? Has it ever occurred to you that there are animals out there that have unique fingerprints just like us humans do? In this video, we're going to share 30 strange facts with you, and we'll answer all of these burning questions along with them. Interested? Just keep watching. Number 1. Believe it or not, there are some species of jellyfish that are capable of living forever. The Turritopsis dohrnii, also known as the immortal jellyfish, can revert back to its juvenile state after reaching maturity, and therefore has the potential to avoid death altogether. But they're not completely impervious to it. Predators, diseases, and environmental factors are an effective counter to their unique adaptation. Number 2. As gross as it may sound, a cockroach can live for several weeks without its head. This is because they have an open circulatory system, which means that they do not rely on their heads to pump blood throughout their bodies. While they may eventually die from dehydration or starvation, their ability to survive without a head is due to their decentralized nervous system, which allows for some basic functions to continue even without input from the brain. Number 3. The national animal of Scotland is the unicorn. While many countries have chosen real-life animals such as lions, eagles, or bears to represent them, Scotland has opted for the mythical creature that's said to symbolize purity, innocence, and power. A unique and interesting choice to say the least. Number 4. You may not have known this, but koalas have unique fingerprints just like humans. In fact, their fingerprints are so similar to ours that they've often been mistaken for human ones at crime scenes. This unique trait is due to the ridges and whorls on their fingers, which help them grip onto tree branches and leaves as they climb. Number 5. Hold on to your goggles, because this one might leave you blindsided. Did you know that polar bears are nearly undetectable by infrared cameras? That's because their fur is not actually white, but rather transparent and hollow, which makes it difficult for the cameras to pick up their body heat. In fact, their fur is so good at insulating them from the cold that they can even overheat if they run for too long. Number 6. When it comes to speed, nothing beats the cheetah. This big cat is the fastest land animal, capable of running up to speeds of 70 miles per hour or 113 kilometers per hour in short bursts. To achieve these incredible speeds, cheetahs have evolved a number of adaptations, such as a lightweight body, long legs, and a flexible spine. Number 7. While most animals can stick their tongues out to cool themselves down or to catch prey, crocodiles are an exception. This is because their tongues are attached to the bottom of their mouths by a membrane, which makes it impossible for them to stick it out. However, they can still use their tongues to move food around in their mouths. Number 8. Horses and cows have the ability to sleep standing up due to a special locking mechanism in their legs that allows them to rest without falling over. But despite being able to sleep standing up, they can only enter REM sleep, the stage of sleep where dreaming occurs, when laying down. This is why you often see them lying down in pastures enjoying their sweet dreams. Number 9. Just like humans, whales have their own unique accents and dialects depending on where they live. Studies have shown that sperm whales in the Caribbean have a distinct accent compared to other sperm whales in the ocean. Scientists believe that this may be due to socialization among different whale groups, similar to how humans develop accents based on their surroundings. Number 10. Boanthropy is a rare psychological disorder in which a person believes they're a cow and will attempt to live their life as one. This can include grazing on grass, walking on all fours, and even mooing. While it may seem strange to those on the outside, it's a very real and serious condition that requires professional treatment. Number 11. Did you know that every continent except Antarctica has at least one McDonald's? That's right. The famous fast food chain has over 38,000 restaurants in more than 100 countries around the world. So whether you're in Asia, Europe, or South America, you can always find a McDonald's nearby. Number 12. Have you ever wondered why they call it baked beans when they're actually stewed? Well, it turns out the original recipe for baked beans did involve baking. But nowadays, the beans are stewed in a sauce made of tomato, molasses, and spices. If you ask us, they're just as delicious either way. Number 13. We all know that sunsets on Earth are usually orange, pink, or red. But did you know that sunsets on Mars are blue? Yes, you heard it right. The sky on Mars is mostly made up of carbon dioxide, which scatters blue light more efficiently than red or orange. What we call golden hour here on Earth would be called something else entirely on Mars. What do you think that would be? Let us know in the comments. Number 14. Remember MySpace? It was the most popular social networking site back in the early 2000s. While it's been overshadowed by Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, MySpace still gets more than 8 million visitors per month. It's not even a fraction of what the other social media giants get, but it's still a pretty respectable number. Number 15. Lego is one of the most popular toys in the world. But did you know that there are more Lego minifigures in existence than actual people on Earth? That's right. With over 8 billion minifigures produced, there are more of them than there are people on the planet. It's no wonder considering Lego's such a beloved toy. Number 16. Back in ancient times, spider webs were used as bandages to stop bleeding. The silk from spider webs contains vitamin K, which helps with blood clotting. The silk is also antibacterial, which helps prevent infection. So next time you get a cut, you might want to try using spider webs instead of a regular bandage. Number 17. Have you ever wondered how much a cloud weighs? Well, it turns out that a cloud can weigh more than 1,000,000 pounds. This is because clouds are made up of tiny water droplets, which are incredibly light. However, when you add up all those droplets, the weight can be quite substantial. Number 18. If you're looking for an eco-friendly way to be buried, you might want to consider turning your body into an ocean reef. Yes, you heard it right. There's a company called Eternal Reefs that turns cremated remains into concrete structures that are placed in the ocean to create artificial reefs. Not only does it help the environment, but it also provides a unique memorial for your loved ones. Number 19. Did you know that the patent for the fire hydrant was lost in the patent office fire? That's right. The original patent for the fire hydrant was lost in the fire that destroyed over 10,000 patents in 1836. However, the fire hydrant is still used today and is considered one of the most important inventions for firefighting and public safety. Number 20. Did you know that the Guinness Book of Records was invented by the folks over at Guinness Beer? Yep, you heard that right. They came up with the idea to create a book of verifiable facts to help settle bar arguments. Next time you're at a bar playing trivia, you can impress your friends with this little nugget of information. Number 21. You know those cute cows with their big, beautiful eyes? Well, did you know that they can actually see almost 360 degrees? That's right. They have panoramic vision thanks to their eyes being positioned on the sides of their heads. The only direction they can't see is facing their back. Still, quite the panorama. Number 22. Australia is known for being big, but did you know that it's actually wider than the diameter of the moon? That's right. If you were to lay the moon on top of Australia, it wouldn't even cover the entire country. That's a whole lot of land to explore. Number 23. We all know Cleopatra is the famous queen of Egypt, but did you know that she lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than she did to the building of the pyramids? Mind blown, right? It's crazy to think about how much has changed since her time. She'd probably be taking some killer selfies if she were around nowadays. Number 24. Turtles are fascinating creatures. And did you know that their shells are actually part of their skeleton? Yup, their shells are made up of bones fused together, providing protection and support for the turtle's body. Talk about having a built-in defense mechanism. Number 25. This one is for all the card players out there. If you shuffle a deck of cards thoroughly, the exact order of the cards has almost certainly never been duplicated in the history of shuffled decks. With 52 cards in the deck, that's an insane number of possible combinations. It's safe to say you won't be seeing the same shuffle deck twice in your lifetime. Number 26. Love him or hate him, Elvis Presley's an iconic figure in music history. But did you know that his manager actually sold I Hate Elvis merchandise to profit off of his haters? That's some savvy marketing right there. Number 27. You've probably heard of a flock of birds, but have you ever heard of a murder of crows? Indeed, a group of crows is called a murder. It might sound a little creepy, but it's actually derived from the Old English word murther, meaning a group of crows. Number 28. Here's one that might make you want to hit the gym. When you lose weight, specifically fat, you primarily breathe it out. That's right, you breathe out the majority of the fat you burn through your breath. The human body and its intricate mechanisms certainly are fascinating. Number 29. The world's largest tire manufacturer is not Goodyear or Michelin. It's actually Lego. They produce over 318 million tiny tires each year for their toy cars and trucks. That's a lot of plastic. Before we end this video, if you enjoyed it, please consider liking, hitting the bell icon, and subscribing. We'd really appreciate it. Number 30. And finally, here's a mind bender for you. For about 3 seconds, you were the youngest person in the world. That's right, at the moment of your birth, you held the title for the shortest time possible. It's a fleeting moment, but still pretty cool. Thanks for watching.